And the greenhouse over here was Kupfer owned for how many, until when?
Partially owned from 1920. Gene Rao had part of it for maybe 5 or 6 years, and then Dad bought him out.
And then...
So that's about 1925 or 26.
And then until...
And I bought it. You and I bought it.
Yeah.
You and I leased it.
Yeah.
After you got out of
College.
And then I bought him out. And I owned it until 1980.
80-something. Can't remember.
Or 86.
86.
I quit growing carnations in 80.
Because of the energy shortage.
Okay.
Could buy them cheaper from South America. And we had a good retail business, so I didn't need to grow any carnations.
Let me throw a couple.
Then I sold it to him, and you sold it what?
I sold it to the fellow that owns it now, but he's not running the greenhouse.
Right. How long was the greenhouse operational?
From 1920 to
80s.
92.
To 92?
Yeah, but
when I retired.
they weren't growing any carnations.
Yeah. But there's a couple of personal stories in there. When Dad was working for Montgomery Ward, not Montgomery Ward, the Katy Railroad. He worked for the MKT Railroad for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And the division point was at a little town named Gallatin. It's about
90 miles up there.
Huh?
It's 90 miles up there, I know.
90 miles.
We played football up there, my last football game.
And so that's the division point. That's where the trains, where they may have had a roundhouse where they grease the wheels and paint the boxcars and so forth.
Right.
And Dad worked for them.
He did? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. That's how he found his wife, indirectly. Missouri at that time had county option on alcohol. If you lived in Jackson County, you could buy whiskey in the bottle. If you lived over in Warrensburg, you couldn't buy whiskey. Well, each little railroad shack up in Gallatin was in a dry county. So they knew that Dad took his job, took him all the way down to Oklahoma and stopped in Kansas City back to Gallatin. I don't know what he did on the railroad. And anyhow, people would say, "Hey, Fritz, you're going to Kansas City, buy me a pint of such and such, here's the money."
Mm-hmm.
So he'd come to Kansas City and he had to find a liquor store. And I don't know how he found a liquor store. It just, that building...
That's where Grandpa Fleischman was, at the liquor store.
And Andy Kemp. Andy Kemp was also. But...
Because Grandpa Fleischman was just drinking, he didn't know anything.
Yeah. Anyhow, he found, the building was at the corner of 17th and Grand on the northwest corner. They just tore that building down in the last 10 years. I should have taken a picture of it because it was called a commercial house. And in those days, if you grew anything for sale in a grocery store, you went to the city market and sold to wholesalers or retailers, maybe not the public, that was on a different day. But these guys would come in and there were a number of Swiss dairies and so forth. And so Dad found out that there were Swiss that owned that liquor store. And at the commercial house, he found our grandfather, John Fleischli, and Andy Kemp, my mother's cousin. Kemp and the guy that owned it was Charlie.
Is she still coming?
Charlie Kemp.
I don't know. She gets here, she gets here. She doesn't, then I'm not worried about her.
So anyhow, he goes in there and he meets Andy Kemp, and they just locked together like a couple of cousins, which they later became.
Mm-hmm.
And Andy Kemp says, "Fritz, you have to go to the Turner Hall with me." Now, Andy Kemp was a great gymnast. He was in the 1904 Olympics in Paris. And
For in what? What?
Gymnastics.
Oh wow.
Floor plan, parallel bars, side horses, all of that in gymnastics. And you have to do all of it. You can't do just one or two items. And so anyhow, Dad goes to Turner Hall one night with Andy Kim, and he gets introduced to my mother, who was a cousin of Andy Kim.
Is Turner Hall a dance hall or something like that?
No, it was a gymnastic society.
Oh, okay.
Still is.
Okay.
Still after 100 and some years in Kansas City, they've got a place out in Grandview now. And they had a big hall on 15th Street. That's where I went when I was a kid. They've got a hall now, too. But anyhow, that's how Dad met Mother. 2 years later, they were married.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Yeah.
But that was the lady driving the car, and she pulled in and backed out and went up there. I had to see whether she went up to Chalet or not. If that was Liz, when she gets up there, she sees there's nobody there, maybe she'll come back here.